There are 3 ways to import your inventory items into Chefsheet. In order to use the importers, you must first create an inventory sheet by pushing the New Inventory Sheet button. From within the inventory sheet or from here, press Import Inventory Items. From here, you can use the Import Wizard, the Cut and Paste form, or you may choose to download and then upload a CSV template. The Import Wizard works well for order guides or if you're exporting your data from some other software, such as a POS system or one of the older style inventory programs like Chefsheet. Consider the wizard when you need to make some changes as you import, when your data is not already formatted columns consisting of item, unit, vendor, and category, or if you need to combine 2 cells into one, such as product name and brand. The cut and paste tool works great if your data is already formatted into columns and just needs to be pasted into these different fields. You can also use the cut and paste form to type new items without cutting or pasting. You can enter 1, 2, 10 items at a time. It's a fairly fast way to enter items when the data is well formatted or if you're typing from scratch. If you need time to work on your upload on your computer's desktop, you can download the same template you see in the cut and paste form into Excel or some other spreadsheet. Work on your data on your computer, save it, return to it as you need, and then either upload or just cut and paste that data directly into the cut and paste form when you're ready. It's generally not a good idea to leave unsaved work in your browser window. You should plan on pasting and importing as you go. If you do need to save your work and work on it over time, consider downloading the template and working on your desktop. With all 3 options, each time you process and upload, the items are added to and do not replace the existing items in that inventory sheet, meaning you can keep adding through different imports as you go. So if you have 10 items ready now, go ahead and import them and upload the additional 50, 60, 100 whenever you're ready. To use the wizard, first take a look at your CSV or your Excel document that you wish to upload. Here we have a pretty typical Cisco order guide, and we scroll over and we start to find the information we need. We have product IDs, we have item names, we might want the pack. We have the units, which we need. We have brand names, which we may want to use. We have prices, which we'll definitely want to use. But this is not neatly formatted and ready to be pasted. We want to combine the brand name with the item name, and we do not have Cisco, the vendor name, repeated all the way down this entire form. The first thing we need to do is save this as a CSV. In Excel, we do File, Save As, and select CSV as our format. Once we have the CSV saved, we start the wizard and choose our file. Now here, if the box is ticked, Chefsheet will expect to see header names, a row of labels across the top of your CSV. If your data just starts somewhere near the top and there are no header names, untick that box. You can see the picture of what header names look like here. Now you can see all of the item fields which are available in Chefsheet. Item name, which is required, product ID, often a number used by your vendor used to know what the item you're ordering is, which is not required. Quantity. In general, you would not upload quantity at this point because the purpose of adding the item is to be able to count it later. Unit, also required. Room. This is the inventory room where your data will be placed in the inventory sheet. It is unlikely the room information would be in your order guide. The room is not required. You can either enter a single room name for all the items you'll be uploading, you can add a column to your CSV and label the rooms there, or you can import without rooms and copy and paste into the rooms you need later on. If you're uploading as many as 200 items, it's recommended that you copy and paste from the no room, the room that the items are added to if a room is not specified later. Price, this is not required, but it is really best to add it now. If you're using this sheet for ordering, you may wish to include PARs. Vendor, this is required, and category, or GL class, which is also required. With this wizard, you can match columns of your CSV to the item fields. You can combine 2 or more columns of your CSV into a single field, and you can enter a single value for the field to be used for every item. And you can combine these methods. To match a single column, click the field, find the column in your CSV. To add 2 columns together, find your first column, and then your second column. Whatever order the 2 columns are listed here is the order they'll be placed in the field, with a space between. To enter a single value to be used for the entire import, type the value, or you can combine these 2 methods and choose a column from the CSV and type your own value. This will use the columns from the CSV, but always add the word kitchen with a space right after. Once you have all the required fields filled out, click the orange Import File button. Depending on the size of your CSV, this could take a few seconds to a few minutes to complete, and then you can view it from your inventory sheet view. How to cut and paste your items using the cut and paste form. You can paste things in rows from side to side or in columns. However you like, each item must have a name, a unit, a vendor, and a category. Note that although you only see 7 rows, this form goes on forever, and you can paste thousands of items here. For those who are not brand new to Chefsheet, Chefsheet no longer requires that you use a set unit list. You can use any unit name you want when adding items to Chefsheet. The room, vendor, and category fields will either be created new if your vendor, category, or room does not exist, or if one already exists by the same name, will be matched and used. For example, if you've already used the room bar, and then the room bar is mentioned in the template, those items will be added to the room bar. If you have not used the room bar 2, a bar 2 room will be created, and you'll see that with all your inventories. You can add as many as 1,000 items at one time using this form. If you're not ready to add all of your items at once, don't worry. Every time you use an import, it'll be added to that existing inventory. So if you add 100 items now and 100 items tomorrow, your inventory will have 200 items in it when you're done with the second round of importing. Items not assigned to a room will be placed in the no room, which is like a room but without a name. Since Chefsheet Mobile for Android, iPhone, and iPad, available in Google Play and the Apple Store, lets you count items room to room, it's best to place all of your items in the rooms now. If an item needs to be in 2 rooms, you can either add it twice in 2 different rows here, or you can use the copy feature within the inventory room. Here we have a vendor order guide as seen in Excel. We would start by copying all the item names and pasting those into the name field. We then just continue to fill out this form, taking next the item prices, units. You may want to use the copy and paste feature built into your browser to speed up adding things like vendors and categories. Notice that the details for the item must line up in the row. When you're ready, click the Import Template button. Now I will show you how to do pretty much the same process in Excel on your own computer by downloading the template. Choose a template for your computer, Windows or Mac. Open the template into Excel or another spreadsheet program. Notice the format of the template. Here you can enter the name of the item. In this column, if you wish, you can enter an initial count. Here you enter the unit. Here you set the room name of your item. If you use a room name that exists in your Chefsheet, your item will be placed in that room. If the room name is new, a new room will be created. To count an item into multiple rooms, you can add it multiple times, multiple lines of the same item with different room names, or you can copy the item or the room using the copy room function that we saw earlier. Here you set the price of the item. Here you can set the par. Here you set the vendor and the category to the right. Note that the green columns are required. The import will not complete without all of the green columns being filled in. The white columns are optional. These fields you can enter at a later time. There are instructions of how to do this in tab 1 of the spreadsheet. The quickest way to import your data is to copy and paste big chunks from your existing spreadsheets. This process only has to be done once per department, probably will take about half an hour. Once you have all of your food, liquor, wine, and supplies in Chefsheet, they will always be there, and this will never have to be done again. Take your existing inventory, or whatever format you have, and just begin to copy. I'm going to begin by copying the selection of categories. You can copy and paste in any order you wish. You can copy all of the data at once or copy in small chunks. You may find it simpler to do this in smaller chunks. I will copy the purchase prices because I have them, although the price is not required. The appearance of the fonts and the text size does not matter, only that the data lines up horizontally to the item and vertically to the information in the sheet. Note that the order of items does not matter. You can sort your items into the order you wish in each room after the import. We can set the rooms during the import process if we wish. Here I'll leave the rooms blank and set them after the import. Now we're ready to import our template into Chefsheet. Select Save As and choose the CSV, comma-separated value format. There may be more than one CSV type. Choose the most general you can see. Save the file somewhere you can find it easily later. Excel will prompt two questions when saving a CSV. Choose OK and Yes. Return to Chefsheet and click the Choose File button, locating your template, and click the blue Upload File button. You can now see the inventory with your list of inventories. Click the inventory name, and you can see the items that you imported. You can now use your Edit function to change an item's room, or the Copy Inventory Room function to move large amounts of items from one room to another. You can move all of the items from the No room into one room, uncheck and select the various items you want to move, and if you need to move an item into duplicate rooms, simply repeat this step from the new room and copy it into the duplicate room. You can use the import function to create a brand new inventory or to add items to an existing inventory. To add items to an existing inventory, simply enter the inventory, click the import inventory function, and repeat the steps from before. There's another tutorial that will show how to add items without importing one by one, as well as a tutorial on general functions and features, how to use the mobile app, and reporting.